Hello everyone and welcome to Epic Yarn Gems. Today I am going to be showing you how to make this doggy cowl. Emerald was a really good sport and he modeled, but this is for actually a much bigger dog. The neck or head size measurement was around 18 to 22 inches around. So as you can see, like I said, it's too big for him. The one thing about this cowl too is there aren't little ear holes for ears to come out of, but I've seen other ones that don't have the ear holes and just keep their little heads warm. So that's what we're going to work with today. Also, if you are making this for a larger or smaller dog, you're going to want to increase or decrease your starting row in even numbers. So without any further ado, the yarn I used to make this with was the Red Heart yarn here, and it's a 4 medium weight, and I used my 5.5 millimeter hook. So the first thing that you're going to start, and this is to make the band, you're going to do a chain 10. And this is going to be the band at the bottom that goes on first on the dog. So after you do a chain 10, this is what you're going to use to measure how big around you want that. But we're starting with, like I said, that chain 10. And then in our first row, we are going to go to the third chain from the hook. And in there, we are going to do a double crochet. We are going to do a total of 8 double crochets all the way to the end, and this is going to be our first row. Upon completion of that row, you are going to do a chain 2, and then in that first stitch you are going to do a double crochet, just a regular double crochet. That's going under the 2 V's. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the last 2. Now the next 6 stitches, say that 10 times fast, you're going to go into the back loop only. And you are going to do this 6 times. And what this is doing is it's giving that ribbed effect for your band. And like I said, you are going to do this 6 times. When you get to the end of the row and you have 1 stitch left, that's your A stitch, just do a normal double crochet, and then you're just going to continue to do that, starting with the chain 2, double crochet, back loop only, double crochet, with 6 stitches, double crochet. And you're going to do this until you get to the length that will go around the dog's head comfortably. And like I said, this one was made for 18 to 22 inch opening. So I did a total of 31 rows. Now, when you get done with this, you're going to join. I'm going to show you really quickly how to do a join. It's by bringing the 2 ends together. The one thing you're going to want to make sure is that it's not twisted, but that it actually makes a nice round opening. I am terrible at joins. So whatever joint works for you, if it's the mattress stitch, if you want to do a double crochet between the 2 sides, just make sure that it's even when you go around so it makes a nice band. Like I said, I'm terrible at joins. I always have to do them 2 or 3 times to get them to how I want them to look, and even then I don't like how they look. But anyway, join the 2 ends, whatever works best for you. Now that we have the band all nice and joined, we're going to go around the top of the band and we're going to start the body. And you are going to do 60 stitches all the way around. You are going to do double crochets, and you're probably thinking, oh, when I did this I only did 30 rows. Well, for each row you are going to be able to put 2 stitches in that row. I work to keep them as even as possible. People have different ways of doing this, But what I do is like I try to go into the top of the row, and then there's like this little teeny space where you probably did your turn, and I put another stitch in there, so I'm going to get a total of 60 stitches all the way around. When you get to the end of this first combining row, if you want to say it, with your band and your main body, you're just going to start crocheting normally like you would in rounds. So you're going to go all the way around, and then once you get done with that, you're going to do a slip stitch join, a chain two, and then you're going to do another row of double crochets, just a row of normal double crochets. And you can see by doing 60, you've made that body opening a little bit bigger than the band, which then allows it to be a little snug around the bottom of the neck. And where I live, maybe it doesn't get much, or we do get a lot of snow, and it holds it a little tighter on the dog's neck so that they don't get snow on their neck and get chilled. So in this next part, this is where we are going to start making the part of the cowl that has the design. That is why I said when you increased or decreased, you're going to want to make sure that you move in even numbers, because for this to land evenly on both sides of the cowl, you're going to need to make sure that it actually is an even or odd number, I'm sorry, an even number of spacing between the two. So let's take a look and let's get started with what we're doing here first. And we're going to do a back post double crochet in our first stitch. And we're going to do 11 of those. And this is where the calculation comes in a little bit to get it in the middle. So once we do 11 of these, this is the first part of the cowl. The next part that we're going to work on is the decoration of it a little bit. And because we're doing the back loop, it does look a little different. So now we're going to do a front post double crochet. I'm going to put links for you in there so that you can see how to do these stitches slower. Followed by a back post double crochet. Now what you're going to do next is skip the next two stitches. Now don't worry, we're going to come back to those, but we're going to skip them for right now. And after we skip those, we are going to do a front post triple crochet. That's where you wrap the yarn around 3 times. And we're coming in from the front. And to do a front post triple crochet, like I said, you wrap it around twice, go through there, yarn over, pull up a loop. You go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, go through the next 2, and yarn over and go through the last 2. And we're going to do another one of those in the next stitch. We're going to do a front post triple crochet. After we finish that, we're going to go back to those 2 that we skipped. And what we're going to do is go to the first one that we skipped, and we are going to do a front post triple crochet in that first one we skipped. It's going to feel a little different. It's going to be like, this looks a little odd, but once you get going, it's going to make that little pattern on the side. And then we're going to go into the second post that we skipped. That one might be a little harder to find, but it is in there. Just make sure that you do a front post triple crochet into that. And now since we already did our stitch in the next 2, we're actually going to go past those, and we're going to do a back post double crochet. So this is where we're coming in from the back. And then you finish it off just like a normal double crochet. Then we are going to go to the next post, and we're going to do a front post double crochet. And that is the start of the pattern on the side. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do 11 back post double crochets. And that is the first half or the first side of the cowl. Now to make it look all nice and even, you're going to do that twice, that whole pattern twice. And that will get you to the point where you have your first set done. For rows 4 and 5, it's the same pattern. You're going to do a chain 2, and then you are going to go do back post double crochets in the first 11, just like we did for row 1. Then we're not going to skip anything. We're just going to do a front post double crochet in the next 4 stitches. That second one is a little hidden because that's the one that crossed over, but you are going to do 4 of those, and that's going to get that crisscross, and it's just extending that a little bit to make it more defined. After you finish those 4, you're going to go in to the next one and do a back post double crochet, and you can see that you're starting to see how these posts look, and they look a little different, a front post from a back post. And then we're going to do a front post double crochet, and then we're going to do 11 back post double crochet, and then we're going to repeat that whole series of stitches, starting with the back post double crochet 11 all the way around, and that is going to give you row 4 and 5. Now you're probably going, okay, this is a bit much, but what you just learned, that's all you need to learn. You're going to repeat rows 3 through 5 until you finish the cowl. This will be making the length of the cowl. For this one, what I did is I made it, like I said, for a bigger dog. So I repeated that row 3, 4, and 5 7 times to make it the length, and that got me to row 26. So after you get past that first row or that first set, it really becomes a lot easier because you can really see where those front posts and back posts are, and they start to make that back and forth pattern, and it just becomes easier to see. And once you get on a roll, it's easy. I hate to keep saying that, but it gets easier. It's taken me a couple times to figure out how to do this pattern on the side. I can't remember what it's called. It has a name. So don't give up. Just keep trying. You know, sometimes it's hard to find, you know, where those loops are. As you can see here on this video, I'm struggling a little bit, but it's okay. Just try again. And I wish you all the luck, because really it just takes time and practice, as with most things in life, right? But it does turn out to be a pretty cute little cowl for your dog. Once you get to the length that you want, we're going to switch our hook to a smaller size. In this case, I dropped mine to a 5mm hook, and we are going to create the little part that's tighter around their face. And this is row 27 in the pattern I'm showing you. You're going to do a chain 2, and then you're going to do a row of double crochets. At the end of the row, you're going to do a slip stitch join. We're going to go into the posts again. So after our slip stitch join, what we're going to do is a chain 2, going into that very first post or onto that very first post. We're going to do a front post double crochet, followed by a back post double crochet on the next post, and we're just going to alternate that all the way around. And we're going to do that for rows 28 and 29. if you want a larger ending, or the part that goes around their heads, you can just make more rows. So like I said, this is really just to give you more of an idea of how to do it, but make it your own. If you want a bigger band, make a bigger band. If you want to alternate colors. It's really whatever your heart desires. So as I finished this, I made a little hat to go with it. That didn't work out all so well, but it was a cute little hat, and I just wanted to show you here some of the design on the side. And here's the little hat that I made to go on top. I put a button on the inside so that you could hold the hat in place. It didn't work all that well, but if you want to, there you go. Here is what that doggy cowl with hat looks like on a larger dog, a friend of mine's dog. I really appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, peace, love, and happiness to you all. Take care.